Question is, how do you know when you're in a good mental state to date? I believe you're in a good mental state to date is when you are at a place where you feel like your cup is full. And we've talked about this before. What does it mean to feel like your cup is full? You feel fulfilled. You can be at a default happiness when you wake up, and you're not dependent on other people to make you happy. Your mental state is not dependent on other people's words or actions.
I think when you have a life that you want to share with someone else versus on depending on someone for a life. Those are a very different statement, and I think making room for someone still means that you have a life. It's just that you want to bring someone into that life opposed to being in this state of just go, go, go and only my way, etc. But, back to that example of staying in on a Saturday night, are you doing it because you have absolutely no one to call or you're avoiding social activities, or is it coming from a place that you want to have a night of kind of master dating and self-love and pampering yourself and kind of taking that reflection time? Those are very different states. And kind of the first one is that you're relying on other people to build a life, where the second is that you have that life and you're just recharging from it.
I am obsessed with that distinction. That makes so much sense to me, because either you have such a freaking badass life that you can't wait to share it with someone else because you're like, come check out what I've been up to, or you're waiting for someone to show you the life that you want to have. And that is the difference. We hear this in our community as well, is I'm fine being alone, but I just feel like I could do so much more when I get into a relationship. Well, that's not really the case. You can't wait for your future self to do all the things that you want to be doing today.
Yeah, and I think one of the benefits of a relationship is that it exposes you to new things and new ideas, new hobbies, etc. But that doesn't need to be the only way you can expose yourself to that. I remember when I was single, I would find like different classes I could take all the time, whether that was virtual or in person. If anything, I wish I could get a little more of that back integrated into my life. So I think you can find that just in a different way, and it's coming from within without relying on someone else. And then when you meet that other person, that's just another way to have that. That's just another way to get that stuff into your life.
I distinctly remember my time in New York. I was in my late 20s and my career was not going well. I didn't have the support system. I was so far away from my parents. And I started dating this guy who, on the days he called or texted me, I was ecstatic. I thought I could do anything. I thought I was invincible. And on the days there was crickets from him, I would be in my bed, unable to get out, and eating ramen under my covers. And looking back on that moment, I see that because my life was not where I wanted it to be, I put my entire existence on someone else.
I can relate to that so hard. Like, I remember times I was just anxiously waiting for someone to text me back. And I remember one of my best friends would be like, I think it's because you have too much downtime, like at work and stuff, that you're thinking about it so much. Because when you're busy, you automatically just don't get as hung up on things because you are doing shit, right?
Yeah.
But when you have all that idle time, what else are you going to do? You're going to wait by your phone and hope that someone can turn around your day.
Yeah. So back to this question, Julie, do you think that you have to have a perfectly fulfilling life first before you can start dating? Or is this something that you can just learn along the way?
I don't think it's ever going to be perfect. And I think there is a balance that we've talked about before too. It's if you have, we'll use the cup analogy. If you have like a splash at the bottom and that's it, then it's probably not a good time to date. You do need to do the self-work to build yourself up. But if you're like 50 to 75% of the way there, you don't like, so many people are always waiting for things to be perfect or to be, in that ideal state. But the reality is you're going to be waiting forever. So I think there needs to be a time that we grow through other people as well. And it can't just be until that magic day. It's kind of like the analogy of like, when I lose 5 pounds or when I lose 10 pounds, I'll date again. But then when you lose the 10 pounds, you're probably going to want to lose another 10 pounds. So it is a spiral that can be tough to get off of if you're always waiting for that perfect day. But I do think if you're at a place of really low water or low energy in that glass, then I think there probably needs to be more of an emphasis on the self-love and therapy and the work that goes into it.
And I'm going to add a little bit to that analogy. It's also the movement of the water. It's the water still. You could be almost halfway there, but is it just staying still? Or are you actively looking to fill your cup, even if your water level may be low right now? And I think a good mental state for dating is that you're actively looking to fill your cup and know that that is your goal. And you can take someone along with you for the ride.
Right. I think we need to expect that, like, we're not perfect and our partners aren't going to be perfect either. And we can be imperfect together, but it can't be two people that are broken just clinging on to each other to become unbroken. So there is a distinction between the two for sure.
Yeah, that's what you get when you get two broken people, is that you end up hurting each other from the broken pieces. Okay, enough analogies. That's it.